Hi and welcome. I am Shushana, and today we're going to do another pick a card reading. This is a fun title. I am here behind the scenes. I have not chosen my piles yet. So, the title, I've never done this title before. And I really like doing titles that I have a hard time finding on YouTube. So, if I can't find it on YouTube, then I will make a video. You know what I mean? I will make a video if I can't find it on YouTube. And this is one of those titles that I could not find on YouTube. So here we go. I do not use tarot. I do not channel. I do not search for downloads. I am a scanner and a diagnoser. I am an indigenous clairvoyant Taoist. And I'm also part of NAC, Native American Church. And I don't need cards to do readings, but I find them to be very fun tool to use for energy work for larger groups. I'm trying to figure out which decks I'm going to use. That are actually going to help us for our reading today. And I think we're done with choosing the decks that I'm going to be using. So as you have seen on the title is Financial Breakthrough. This reading is for people who are having financial issues, financial debts. Some Palo Santo for you to remove all those negative thoughts. I am sensing that for this reading, I'm going to have to do some financial blockage clearing, healing, and as I've said before, any kind of healing blessings that I do on this channel are not for the wicked. If you are a wicked individual, if you are a parasitic witch, none of these healings are going to work on you. In fact, they will probably make you sick to your stomach. My channel is for people who are in recovery, people who want to progress in life, people who want to fulfill their life mission, their spiritual purpose, their assignment, their divine assignment in this lifetime, people who want to become a better person. If that is not you, this channel is not for you. Okay, I have to say that because there's always an individual that I don't want on my channel. You know how it is. It's like the more followers you get, the more people find you, and you always end up with certain viewers that you do not want. And I only have two. I only have two individuals that I don't want on my channel. It's like, my channel is clearly not for you, so I don't know what you're doing on here. Okay, let's get started, you guys. This is going to be such a fun. I haven't even started, so this is just a behind the little scenes. I don't think I'm going to use these because I want to make it, you know what? I don't know, maybe I should. I want to make it as simple as possible. So let's choose what cards we're going to use for people who are having financial issues. Every time my cards get dirty, I have to get rid of it or clean it because then it messes up the shuffle. I have to figure out what covers I'm going to use. Oh my gosh, this one is dirty too. I'm going to have to put the dirty ones aside. I use all kinds of tables for my readings, so I will get my cards dirty and then I'll have to buy new ones. I don't really like any of these for a cover. Which one? I need some faces. I'm gonna have to probably use this one. Some faces. You see how those have faces? I need some worried looking faces for this pile. Okay, and I think I found it. So I'm not going to use this deck for the reading. I'm just going to use the covers. So we got this face. Can you even see? And that face and that face. All tied up. This one is perfect. We have to use that one. That one is good too. So I got two males, and let's get a female face. What is the collective female face right now? Is it this? Should we do 4 piles? Or should we do 5? Like, how could we not use this one for financial abundance? I kind of want to do 5 piles. All right, which one should I use? Which one looks like this one here? Okay, we're using 5 piles today. And then I have to take a picture of it, which I didn't get a chance to do. So I'm going to have to do it at the very end. How am I going to memorize that? I'm going to have to write it down. I have a really bad short-term memory, but my long-term memory is impeccable. I will remember things from when I was a baby. card. Okay, I'm going to write it down here. How does that look? Should I swap something? You see how sometimes all the piles don't fit? How's that? Does that look good? So it would be pile 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And after the reading, I will take a better photo so it's up and close and you can actually see the piles. So this is going to be pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, pile 4, pile 5. Okay, and those are our piles. And let me just write them down so when I go back, they're in the right order. Okay, I'm already getting impatient and I just want to start already. This is why I don't do full face reading sometimes, because I just want to get started. Okay, I just want to freaking get started and I don't want to have to deal with combing my hair. Like sometimes I don't want to comb my hair. I just want to get right into helping the collective. Okay, let's begin. Do 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 do. Okay, so let's begin with why we're doing this reading. We're doing this reading because financial poverty, financial debt, financial challenges, hindrances of any kind are a spirit. My gosh, I'm already cracking. My voice is already cracking. I only have issues with my voice when I do these readings. You know why? Because there's an opposing force that does not want certain wisdom to be shared. Because if you share that wisdom, you will pop it off. So if someone comes to you and says, hey, your roommate is a problem, you need to get rid of them. You go home, you realize your roommate is toxic, and you get rid of them. Why? Because someone else helped you see that they are toxic and that person pops out of your life. So by diagnosing it, you are already energetically targeting the issue and popping it off. There's different kinds of exorcisms. There is the kind where someone physically and energetically extracts an issue and makes that issue disappear. There are other people who exorcise, remove an entity or an issue from a person and transmute it, which is what I like to do. I like to recycle, depending on what it is. Other people stick it in containers and save it. And other people diagnose it, which I also like to do. By diagnosing it, by exposing it, by showing it to the viewer, helping you see it more clearly, you do the final fling. You do the final push and say, oh, I can see it now. I can clear it myself. And then we're doing some co-clearing. So in some of these videos that I do, I leave some uncleared but exposed and highlighted for you to clear yourself so that you get used to doing things yourself. Because what are we going to do when the electricity goes out? What are we going to do when there's no Wi-Fi and you have no videos to play, no frequencies to play? We have to do the work ourselves. Okay? So that's the reason why sometimes I will do a percentage of a clearing for any kind of topic so that you can go and clear the rest yourself and be proactive on your own journey, your self-discovery journey. Okay? So, for all of the piles, you does not matter if you are a male or a female. You choose whatever card that you are attracted to in regards to your financial debt, your financial crisis. What are the blockages? What are the attacks? What are the spirits? Financial debt is a spirit. Financial poverty is a spirit that needs to be cleared. So let's go ahead and begin. As well, I also wanted to mention witchcraft. Witchcraft, people who are miserable and have nothing better to do will try to throw things at you. They will try to throw blockages your way so that you cannot move forward in your finances. Corporations do this. So really rich corporations and headquarters, they know all about black magic and they use that to attack their competitors. So let's just begin, shall we? All tied up. If you chose this pile, what is your advice if you chose pile 1? I'm making room because I ain't got no room. I'm using my smaller table, but I have a table that's bigger and a table that's smaller. And it's always tricky to do pick a card readings because I want everybody to get a fair chance at pulling certain cards. Okay, so this is the pile that we are on right now. For people who are feeling all tied up, we have the Tree of Life as your advice. Not sabotaging yourself, not judging yourself, not making you feel worse. You compare yourself to others and you think that you are the only one that's going through whatever it is that you're going through, and you are absolutely not. You are not going through whatever it is you're going through by yourself. I'm just going to put them up there when I'm done. So what is it going to take for this pile to free themselves from their current financial debt? And we have understanding, looking at both sides. So what are the both sides to a certain situation? And then we're going to pull a bunch of these because these are really helpful. Come home to the residence of your soul, residence. Come home to the residence of your soul's resonance. So what is going to get you out of the situation is you looking at both sides to a situation, you looking at both sides of two opposing perspectives. So let me back this up. I want to clear something for you. Okay, so I'm going to be clearing this guilt and shame that you have. You have this guilt and shame here that is unnecessary. That guilt and shame comes from PTSD that the Unified School District creates in children. At a very young age, the school district creates this insecurity and comparison and self-sabotaging judgment, severe critique upon yourself. And we're go ahead and clearing that out. It seems to be just in one corner of your subconscious. There's no need to have guilt and shame. We need to replace it with something else. And we're going to replace it with an affirmation. I have the power to release myself. So every time that you think of guilt and shame, you will instead look at a beautiful, shiny affirmation that will be blinking over your head that says, I have the power to release myself. You are not a living knot. You are putting yourself in a mind frame where you are this knot, but you are not a human knot. You have the power to release yourself. Understanding both sides of the story, looking at both sides is you needing to compromise in a certain situation where maybe a position has been offered to you and you feel that you are overqualified for that position. There's nothing wrong with temporarily taking positions that we are overqualified for. Or not qualified for, whatever it is, because those positions will get you out of the position that you don't want to be in. And once you save what you want to save, then you can go off and change industries or manage. It's important for you to compromise. You are caring too much what people think. You gravitate towards external influences, external gratifications, but you're not coming home to your own soul's resonance. Once you come home to your own home's resonance, your soul will tell you that nothing is wrong and that all you have to do is compromise. I'm getting delivery positions. Delivery positions make tips. And if you're one of those people who you feel like you're tired of being unemployed or you're tired of being stuck at home or you need a lot of movement or a lot of activity in your life, consider delivery services, delivery or transportation services for this pile. If you do not like the companies, the main companies that are available, that doesn't mean that there's not an amazing company that will deliver exactly what you want to deliver. Or maybe you're one of those people that you don't care about tips. You just care about what you're delivering because you're just that kind of person that's perhaps very sensitive to energy, and you're very sensitive to the karma of a business, company, or industry. So, if tips is not an issue, you can deliver groceries. You can deliver organic groceries. There is a company that needs you. What you're looking for is looking for you. You might have a spending problem, a budgeting problem, a shopping problem, if I didn't say that already. Or you're dealing with a spouse that has those problems. And for some reason, I'm getting somebody that lives in your household that gets angry, and whenever they get angry, they spend a lot or drink a lot. And you are a couple, for whoever that is. There's a couple that perhaps are both gamblers or irresponsible with money. And if you like to spend a lot of money, you have to make a lot of money, and you should consider a delivery position or a tipped position to make up for the lavish lifestyle that you and your person seem to enjoy together. For others of you, it's just one of you that has a lavish lifestyle, and the other one of you is very simple and tired and angry of having to deal with the person who's a spender. So those kinds of issues will make your debt increase. And that's the complete opposite of what we want here. Okay, so this is exactly what I got. These are just collective readings. If there's something that does not feel right, you dismiss it. It is a message, a story for somebody else to hear. Okay? I am going to say it how I see it. Before I pulled this card, I was sensing a need for a domestic separation or a divorce, cutting off a roommate, cutting off the issue, because for some of you, you're not married, but you're just living together. It's time to go. Okay? This is the message that I was getting for this pile is it's time to go. This cannot continue. If you want your debt to go, you're going to have to either get a divorce from the person who has a shopping problem, your wife, cut her off out of your life. This is such a crazy reading. I'm sorry if this does not pertain to you. You know, there's little, when you go to the grocery store, you don't grab all the apples. You only grab the apples that you need. My channel is the exact same way. You only grab the apples that you need. If it's a pear for somebody else, let somebody else have it. There's a percentage of you in here that are males that were attracted to this card. And you need to cut off somebody who's only with you for your money. okay? Or vice versa. Take it how it resonates. There's no love here. This person is totally with you because of your pockets. And if you get grounded and resonate with your soul instead of looking for external amusement, your own soul will tell you who has to go from your life. Accept your well-earned praise. So it seems like when you separate from a certain person that is causing you financial issues or cut them off, you're going to be promoted and you're going to receive the income that you deserve. And it's almost as if you're being protected from receiving a promotion or an opportunity, because that opportunity or promotion is waiting for you to cut off the problem in your life, which might be a spender or simply a girlfriend that just wants to go shopping and doesn't want to give you any love or affection. And as soon as you cut her off or him off, you're going to quickly succeed and promote yourself, or be promoted, or receive an award, or receive an opportunity for an authority position. So sometimes when we are feeling all tied up, it's because there's somebody around you that is draining your energy, draining your chi force, literally draining your finances, okay, and leaving you with nothing. You are due some kind of refund or award or promotion. And for those of you who are happily together, this simply means perhaps ending your gambling addictions and shopping addictions for the sake of the family. What color does group 1 need to work with? Color for group 1. We have tangerine. Being more spontaneous and having more fun. Okay, that's not good for someone who has gambling addictions, but you know what I mean. We have the color plum. Using the color plum to overcome your challenges. A plum is about being honest with yourself and what things, spending habits, routines you need to cut off from your life, being realistic and logical about your situation, and being spontaneous and having fun. I feel is actually about having fun and being creative with your solution. Why does the solution have to be so bland? Your solution can be a spontaneous and fun solution. It doesn't have to be so heavy. And you don't have to be depressed because there's a debt. When you're depressed while there's a debt, it makes the debt stay. And when you are happy and lively, all of a sudden, all these emails with resolutions start coming in. When we focus on a problem too much, it gets bigger. But when you kind of lighten up and be spontaneous and have fun with the challenge, it just relieves the pressure that needed to be relieved for something to be resolved to begin with. Resisting dependency. Okay, so either you or the person that you're with, you are just with the other person for material gain, and that has consequences. It's one of those things that was normalized a long time ago. It was normalized a long time ago. If anything, since ancient times, it has been normalized to marry somebody for material gain. But in the spiritual world, there are consequences to doing that, whether it's you doing it to someone or someone doing it to you and not allowing someone to do it to you and you not doing it to somebody else. If there's no love or care or affection, then it's spiritual prostitution in my eyes. It's spiritual prostitution when you are with somebody just for financial gain or benefit or whatever that is. That's all the messages that I have for you. I hope you found something helpful and we have cleared any guilt or shame associated with your situation. Your situation is human, and there's no need to feel any kind of guilt or shame. Whenever you feel the guilt or shame come back, you remember your affirmation that you have the power to release yourself from your certain situation. Okay? Bye. Hello, pile 2. If you chose this one here, if this is the card that you were attracted to, you are so frustrated. You feel like you are talented. You feel like you are in physical shape. You feel like you're awake spiritually. You take care of yourself. You care what you put inside your body. You have good morals for the most part. You're trying to be a better person. You're in recovery. And all you want is to be able to take care of yourself and your loved ones if you have any. You don't understand what the problem is. You're really tired of this political system. You're really tired of this matrix. Sometimes you really don't understand why you are here when you never get to even be here to begin with. We are here in life, but do we actually get to enjoy life? We're at work all the time, doing 9 to 5, doing full time, doing graveyard, doing overtime. By the time you're at home, you don't even have energy to clean the house. You're exhausted, you're drained from dealing with people and answering the phones, being online. You basically just have a house to recover in. It's not even a cozy house that you can be comfortable in. You feel like your house is just a recovery house. You're just recovering. Recovering. You're not living. You're recovering. And not in a good way. You know, there's like the good kind of recovery and the bad kind of recovery. The bad kind of recovery is where you shouldn't be drained so much on a routine. And you just feel like you're constantly having to recover. You don't have time for yourself. If you are unemployed, you feel like you have too much time for yourself and all you want to do is work and you cannot believe that you cannot find a job. It's really taking a toll on your mental health and ego. For others of you, you have so much free time that you're drinking even though you know you shouldn't be. And it's also taking a toll in your life where you don't even enjoy it like you used to, and you're really starting to consider completely getting rid of it and not wasting any money on it anymore. We have a fork in the road. I actually like when this card comes up because it means that something is stale and depressed. And you get to be in this fun, happy little position where you get to choose where you go next. If you have been in this situation for such a long time, don't you think that maybe it's time to move? Where perhaps where you're living doesn't have enough job perspectives. And maybe that's the issue. And then you are beating yourself up as if it's your fault when in reality there's just not enough job perspectives where you live that fall under the industry that you're good at. For a lot of you, you have people that are dependent on you. You might have children, and you just feel like you are lost. You have no words. You just feel like you are being cooked alive financially, and you are not able to take care of people that rely on you or depend on you. And at the same time, you see through all the BS. You see through all the artificial crap. So you're forced to stare at the matrix and be in the matrix and not be able to be there for your team. So I feel like this pile is going through a lot because you're not, let's just say that you're getting in a deeper hole and you have to leave. And that's why we have the fork in the road asking you to research towns that have job positions. Okay, so basically looking for a job out of state. If your situation is not working, it's important for you to look for a job that's out of state. It's not uncommon for people to be hired out of state. The hardest part about your situation here is the frustration. The frustration is blocking you. So let's go ahead and do a clearing for your frustration. It is problems with your crown soul house. So your crown soul house has to be calmed. You can calm it with Australian purple agate and some blue lace agate, some soul site, some howlite. This pile, if you're having any kind of insomnia issues, I highly recommend purchasing a howlite necklace. It is very important for this pile to get sleep. It's important for you to also have caffeine. I get it. But the caffeine has to be in the daytime or early afternoon. See if you can get into some valerian root or some melatonin. It's extremely important for you to get sleep. And make sure that everybody in your household is respecting your sleep. Your sleep is golden. So we're continuing with the calming of your crown chakra. I'm sorry I said chakra. I meant to say soul house. Your crown soul house. The chakras are an agenda. They are soul houses that belong to you and should stay closed. The reason why people want to open up your chakras is because they want to steal your energy. So they will have videos about opening up your chakras. No, you're not going to open up your chakras to nobody. Those people want to drain you of your energy. There are healers out there that pretend to be healers, but they're actually energy drainers. And energy they drain the living life out of you. So you do not open your chakras. You keep them you keep them closed like a drawer because they're yours. If you're opening a drawer, you're opening it for somebody else to look through. Nobody needs to look through it. The drawer to the temple should be closed, and if it's open for you, not open for anybody else. Whenever you start feeling frustration, whenever you start feeling stress and anxiety, I want you to think of agates, Australian agate, blue lace agate, covering up your head. Changing your lifestyle, nurture your body through communion with nature and strengthen your spirit with laughter. Watch funny things. Even though you feel like you are in a crisis, engage in mindful exercises, moving energy around like Tai Chi. So changing your lifestyle, there's something wrong with your lifestyle. If you're over here drinking beer every day, you're not going to have a positive opportunity for any kind of miraculous resolution. I know someone that is very close to me, a very dear friend, that they drink beer every single day. Every single day they drink a 6-pack of beer, and then they call me complaining about all of their problems. And I'm getting to the point where I can't do that anymore. I can't help people that don't want the help. It's like trying to deliver somebody that doesn't know that they need deliverance. We have 2 change cards here, pile 2. 2 changes. My voice is cracking again. You are fighting this change. Leap forward and dare to make that change. There will be sacrifices and roadblocks, but you are protected. It is an imminent move. What is stale and depressed will be revitalized with this new energy, okay? So if you're feeling super stressed, you can make the agate, the Australian agate and blue lace agate and howlite and soul sight come down. It doesn't have to just stay in your head. It can go around your neck and your shoulders, your elbows, and you just feel the Australian agate, the blue lace agate, the soul sight, the howlite going all the way down to your toes. And there's no anxiety there. There's no frustration there. You are completely relaxed, completely calm, completely safe, completely capable of coming up with a resolution, but that resolution has to come when you've cleared all of that inability to sleep and rest properly. What color does pile 2 need to work on or work with? Attracting success, we have the color 7. The color 7, the color scarlet. Attracting a successful situation to come your way. So in this situation, in this pile, there's nobody throwing anything at you. There's no attacks. This is you. This is you who put yourself in this situation, okay? Where there's something that you didn't foresee that you would have foreseen had you not made a certain error that you can most definitely fix. So now it's about attracting that success and making whatever sacrifice needs to be made. Whenever you don't get what you want, you fast and you make a sacrifice. For those of you who are religious, you simultaneously pray, fast, and sacrifice. And that usually activates miracles. It really does. It really works. And if there's something that you don't get that you really needed, it didn't resonate with you. Things have to resonate for things to work out. There's something else I wanted to say. There's no attacks. It is you. It is... Oh. The reason why I find it so important to pray is because people are constantly throwing things at you. All you have to do is go out in public. And if somebody is in a bad mood and they look at you, they have thrown something at you. So I find it extremely important to pray to Source for Source's protection when you are weak and vulnerable. You know, whenever you are weak and vulnerable, that's when attacks penetrate. But if you pray for Source's protection to be with you during those times where you are weak and vulnerable, I feel that it helps because of the power of your mouth, the power of your words. Oh, I needed to sneeze and I blocked my sneeze. The power of your words in prayer works like smudge to the heavens, like incense to the heavens. So if you don't have incense, simply praying smudges your house because your voice becomes incense to Source. And when people are throwing stuff at you, if you're constantly praying to, well, not constantly, but daily, at least daily praying to Source, it's very difficult for spells to work when you are doing counter spells with prayers, okay? I want to say that when you pray to Source, you are vacuuming. You are vacuuming the spells that people try to put on you. And at the same time, you are returning spells. That's my take on that. But you do what you wish. I don't like pushing anybody to doing anything that they don't feel called to do. It's an individual choice, yeah. We have following the footprints of greatness. So you're capable of accomplishing greatness. And with this pile, it just seems like you are the only one that's in your own way. And you make errors when you are frustrated. When you're frustrated and stressed out, that's when you make errors. Getting rid of the things that you see as valuable but are not valuable. This could be eliminating certain services, eliminating certain subscriptions, eliminating certain apps that are draining you, eliminating Netflix. What does Netflix really bring to your life? Netflix is infiltrated and very negative, extremely negative for children to watch. How about removing that subscription? Removing your Amazon subscription, getting in touch with the truth of the matter and clearing the emotional challenges, which I think is frustration. Whenever you get frustrated, I want you to think of that affirmation. I am capable of releasing myself from this situation. So resting, getting rid of that frustration will give, and sacrificing something by changing your lifestyle, no longer putting something that is of a low vibration on a routine. There's something of a low vibration that you're putting on a routine, and once you eliminate that, you will see doors open for you. Unfortunately, that's just how it works, You have to make sacrifices in order for changes to be born. And you see them rather quickly. I think that you see them rather quickly when you make those changes, okay? Those are about all the messages that I have for pile 2. Hello, pile 3. If you chose this card here, feeling anxious about our situation, let's go ahead and jump in. Anxiety is an attack, okay? So we're going to do a clearing right away, and we're going to neutralize the attack. And you are safe. So for this pile 3, this pile feels sick every single morning. You hate it. 6 a.m. 6 a.m. is when this pile is the most ill. You have tried everything to not feel ill. You know that you're not supposed to eat greasy food before bed, or caffeine before bed, or sugar before bed, or sugar at all. There are times where you had absolutely no sugar for an entire day, so that you can say that you attempted going sugar-free to alleviate the anxiety, and the anxiety did not go away. Because you are being attacked in your sleep. You are being attacked in your sleep by multiple energies. The energies are a combination of people who wish you harm, people who envy you, as well as, I want to say aliens, just to get straight to the point, and also biological AT, and of course W, biological W fair. I don't like saying the whole word because it's such a negative word. I like to code things to not give them the power that they don't deserve. You know, humanity is constantly being AT'd by 6G now. You know, it's like every time people realize what is ATing us, they're already on to the next thing. It has taken 3 years for people to realize that 5G is bad for you. Well, guess what? They're already on 6G now. It took you 3 years to not petition anything. Now you're petitioning something that they're already advanced over. By the time your 5G petition wins, they're already on 6G. It's a psychological outrage every sunrise. I wish it wasn't true. So, there's only so much that I can clear when it comes to that because there is a boundary there. There is a boundary there of how much I can clear from your anxiety and what will continue on when you go to sleep from the opposing force. And learning how to clear that anxiety yourself. And that is the most important from this pile, without even continuing, is the anxiety in the morning. Clearing the anxiety in the morning. So, for this pile, absolutely no caffeine at a certain time of the day. All right? It absolutely no caffeine when you wake up. I know you don't want to hear that. Try decaf. I drink decaf. Okay. Do you know what this is in here? This is half and half. This is half decaf and half regular. It's a compromise. And I put non-dairy creamer. I use soy creamer. And I use vanilla. And I use coconut oil. I take a tablespoon of coconut oil and I put it in my coffee, and I put cinnamon, mix it all up, and it's just a creamy vanilla delicious half and half coffee. So try doing decaf. Try doing, so let's say you're one of those people who love cream. Try a chamomile tea, and add cream to the chamomile. Any non-caffeinated tea and add some cream to it and tell me it does not come out good. Your main obstacle here, pile 3, is how you feel in the mornings and learning how to clear how you feel in the mornings. Starting from your toes. For you, it's brown. This pile, you need to work on the color brown. So let's see, when you wake up in the morning, you grab everything matters. For this pile, everything matters that you do. Well, the first thing that you put in your mouth matters. What is the first thing that you do when you wake up? You get up a cup a cup of ice cold water. Wrong. That's already wrong. You hurt your tummy when you do that. When you wake up in the morning, you have to drink room temperature water to not shock your tummy. When you shock your tummy in the morning with ice cold water upon waking up, you, I guess, I you activate IBS. For people who have IBS issues, digestive issues, you drink ice cold water in the morning, you are going to activate the IBS or digestive issue symptoms. So when you wake up in the morning, you either want to drink room temperature water or hot water. Hot water is really good for your digestion, but if you feel like that's too much in the morning, then do room temperature water. If you're trying to lose weight, hot water with lemon. This pile, stay away from caffeine in the morning, okay? The caffeine in the morning for this pile is going to give you a panic attack. If you love caffeine and you really want it, wait until the afternoon and observe how you feel after taking it in the afternoon. So, like, let's say you're going to listen and you're going to say, okay, fine, I'm going to have such and such instead, and I'm not going to have any caffeine till noon. Then you have your caffeine at noon, and at 1 o'clock, you have a panic attack. You will see right then and there what is the issue. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's important for you to diagnose all of your health, your dietary issues, your what you are allergic to. I think that this pile is a very talented pile. You're talented, you are unique, and you are special. And that's why you are attacked while you sleep. I would recommend this pile go to sleep with stones, protective stones, such as garnet, golden sheen obsidian, or whatever you feel protects you, because everyone is different. Go to sleep with stones and see if that helps you feel less anxious in the morning. So if I were you, I would try going to sleep with tiger's eye, a tiger's eye necklace, or even hematite. So I know that hematite gives some people insomnia, but if you're really, really tired, you will still be able to sleep just fine while wearing a hematite necklace or hematite magnet necklace or titanium hematite rainbow necklace. Those kinds of things will usually cause insomnia, but if you can get away with it, I would recommend going to sleep with a hematite or tiger's eye, and that should alleviate a lot less attacks while you sleep from your environment. Shutting off your Wi-Fi box. If nobody is using the internet, unplug the box. Unplug the box. And if that can't happen, then buy a net. There's a net that you can stick the Wi-Fi in that reduces the chances of getting cancer or neurological health issues because of the Wi-Fi box. Okay, so let's begin with the medicine cards. Once you feel better, once you clear those interferences, because they're like progression interferences, And when you're anxious, you have to basically do energy work every morning for this pile. Everybody has a different time. Some people, it works best if they do their energy work in the afternoon. Some, it's better at night. For this pile, upon rising, even at 3 o'clock in the morning. So if you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, do energy work. Choice, understanding consequences. Okay, so you have a choice in a matter where you feel that you don't, but you also have to admit to your contributions to how you got where you were at. There's a mistake, there's an error that you made, and now you're starting to really understand the consequences of it. And then we have the sacred pipe. So perhaps you are disconnected from source and you're not asking source for help, or you simply feel like you cannot pick yourself up and get back into that position where people can depend and rely on you as their caretaker. However, you need to step up. For others of you, the anxiety that you have is throughout different times of the day. For others of you, you are introverted at an unreasonable. Okay, so we're going to clear something else that you have. You have this block that we're clearing, and this block is basically trying to hijack you by telling you lies and making you feel introverted when you need to step up and not be introverted. There is a time and a place for everything. And sometimes it's important for us to be introverted and to recover, and other times it's important for us to be social and extroverted. And we're going to swap something around because these interferences have made you introverted and extroverted at the wrong time, and we're putting them back in place. So you should be able to be back into a social butterfly when you are given the right opportunity. Whenever you feel that there is some kind of energy that is making you second guess yourself, be undecisive, I want you to crisscross it twice because it's going to come at you twice. You're going to X and you're going to X and you're going to say no and you're going to say no because those are lies. That is an interference that is trying to take your positive opportunities away. So you will notice that whenever you have a positive opportunity, that's when the negative voices start. Whenever you have a negative opportunity, there is silence. And when you call that out, it pops out and it can no longer hurt you. And you push it away and you say no. XX, that was a lie. Every time those voices start, you're not even going to hear those voices. You're just going to see them coming. You're going to see the ripples coming. You push the ripples aside and clear them, disperse them, break them, shatter them. And know that that attempt was trying to block a positive opportunity. Okay, this is an interesting one. So we also have laziness here, and that was the mistake that you made. You got lazy somewhere. There was somewhere where you got lazy. There's a difference between recovering and being lazy. And you got lazy and something was neglected, and we're going to go ahead and clear that too. It's like this bar, and we're clearing the bar of laziness, and we are going to change it because it wants to be changed to an affirmation, and the affirmation is, it was there and then it went invisible. It ran from me. Give me a second to gather it up again, what the affirmation was. Okay, I am motivated. Let's just keep it simple. I am motivated, 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 motivated. If you want to add another, you can add inspired. Motivated and inspired, motivated and inspired. So you get an email, an interview for a job that you want. Your first gut feeling is that's what I wanted. I applied for a reason at such and such date. Now they want an interview. Those voices start coming in, those voices that are saying, no, 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 don't go, don't go, don't go. You don't have nothing to wear. You don't feel good. You're depressed. You're having an anxiety attack. You're going to block all that. You're going to X them all out. You're going to say no, no. And then the affirmation is, I am motivated and inspired. Got it? So next time you have your positive opportunities and your positive resolutions, you are motivated and inspired. Motivated and inspired. Recognize your spiritual authority. Recognize your spiritual authority to block further attacks. Okay, so let's say you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, you need to use the bathroom. You're on your bed. I want you to literally push away everything that was trying to cause any kind of heaviness while you were sleeping. You know how it's hard to get up in the morning? You keep some water next to your bed because it helps with the circulation so that you can defend yourself in the middle of the night and upon rising. And you just push and you amp up your authority and say, no, I do not consent to these blockages. I do not consent to financial poverty. I do not consent to anxiety. I do not consent to any of these attacks that are trying to cause me to be anxious. I cut them all out. What colors does this pile need to work on? Coral, one of my favorite colors in this deck. Allowing flow and synchronicity into your life. So this pile, you're going to have opportunities. Of course, when I say that you're going to have opportunities, it's under the assumption that you're doing the physical work. Okay, as long as you're doing your fair share, you're doing your energy exchange and your work, physical work, there will continue to be synchronicity and opportunities in your life. But the problem with this pile is your anxiety ghosting those opportunities. And that's what you're going to block away. We're going to learn how to push away those attacks. By me telling you what those attacks are, you should be able to visually see them to push them away when they try to come at you. In the mornings, those same attacks, the same source will want you to take espresso in the morning. You know what I mean? So you have to be careful When you choose to take caffeine, are you taking it because you are choosing to take it, or because there's another energy that wants you to take it because it knows that you will get a panic attack? And if you go into a panic attack, you go back to zero. That's why I believe that this particular pile is a very intelligent and talented pile, because people who are intelligent and special are always the ones that get attacked the most. You know, you might even be attacked by people. You know, people, that's a whole other story, because everything that we've talked about has been atmospheric and environmental that I'm talking about. People, that I recommend staying away from them unless you have to. Unless you have to socialize. I don't blame you there. That's common sense. That's protection. Naturally, this is, yeah, naturally you are a happy person. Like when you are not under attack, when you're not in a panic mode, when you're not suffering from anxiety, you are an extremely happy person, high vibrational. And that is the reason why you're so susceptible to attacks, because you're a high vibrational. Do you see? So that should give you more motivation to continue being high vibrational and sustaining that feeling. And when you have those little hiccups of not being at your best, learning how to push them, clear them. A card just fell on the floor. I gotta go pick it up. Okay, so the card that fell on the floor was detach. What in your life do you have to detach from? Is it caffeine? Is it alcohol? Because alcohol will give you hangovers and anxiety as well. And alcohol will enable the atmospheric and energetic attacks further. Okay? Let me see. I want to pull one more of these. Honoring how far you've come. Honoring how far you've come. So regardless of the situation that you are in, you have come far. And looking back behind you to see where you were 5 years ago, where were you 3 years ago, regardless of whether or not, or how much lack you feel that you're in right now, or how much lack or crisis you're in right now, you're still in a better place that you were a couple of years ago, and honoring that there is progression there. That's all the messages that I have for you. Bye. Hello, pile 3. If you were attracted to this card, this is your reading. So, if you were attracted to this card, you feel really trapped, either by a marriage, a contract, a lease, bankruptcy, loss of property, lawsuits, etc. We have a need to be fair in this situation, where is a legal situation for many of you. The conclusion to this case is going to be a fair one. It's going to be justified. Whatever the results is, or whatever the resolution is, even if it is an appeal, the appeal is going to be fairly looked at and fairly considered. And we have you needing to worry about the here and the now. Where, let's say there's an ongoing case and you cannot think about anything else, and all you think about is this ongoing case. It's important for you to be focused on the here and the now. You get tempted to think about the future, and you get tempted to think about the past. So already we have found what we need to clear for this group, and your blockage for this group towards financial abundance is being stuck in the past or stuck in the future and not knowing how to be in the present. So we're going to go ahead and surround you in a beautiful golden circle. And you are inside the golden circle, and two beautiful green birds just flew by. As we're doing this, we're surrounded in this beautiful gold circle, and this gold circle is a circle made of gold that is a bubble of safety. And that safety is in the present. And on the right side of you, there is another bubble. And that bubble is outside of your bubble. And on the left side, there is another bubble. And on that bubble is outside of your bubble. Both the right and the left bubbles that are to the side of you, outside of you, are smaller. They are about the size of the basketball. And on the right, you have your past, the word past written inside the basketball size circle. On the left side, you have the future, and the future is written inside the basketball size circle. The circle that you are in is really big. It's a big circle that leaves a lot of space for you to jump around, and you're still in that circle. That circle has a word that says the present. You are now safe in the present. You are now safe in the present golden circle. And you no longer desire going into the past or going into the future, because you don't even fit in those little circles. You wouldn't be safe. You would get claustrophobic in those circles. So just stay in your safety, present golden circle. Happy and peaceful inside, calm, completely capable of resolving an issue that you find yourself in. You feel like surrendering, and some of you might be reaching out to resources, trying to get some kind of resources, but those resources may not be coming in. You are fully capable of resolving this issue without the help of those resources. Not to say not to reach out to those resources, because you still have to do your physical work, but to put yourself in a position where you don't even need those resources because you can make resolutions on your own with your own energy. Some of you might be 32 years old, 38 years old. Whenever you get tempted to worry about the future, I want you to kind of buzz yourself back to the present, where you set a little device that kind of gives you a friendly little shock, a friendly little buzz, a friendly little electrocution that goes buzz. Nope, go back to the present. Stay away from the past, stay away from the future right now, because it is not helping you in this process where some of you might lament or go into self-pity, and that is counterproductive right now when you're under pressure. You're under an unsurmountable amount of pressure, or so it feels that way. We have you needing to release yourself of the fears. You have been riddled with fears, and in order for the solution to come to your life, you need to release those fears and replace them with unconditional love. Where, let's say you fear the worst, we're going to disintegrate that to pieces of fearing the worst, and replacing it with unconditional love for yourself. Be compassionate towards yourself that you're in this situation. How much compassion would you have towards somebody if they were dealing with this and they were of a young age? What difference does it make? Why should somebody who is 6 years old, who's dealing with this, get less compassion than someone who is 38 years old who's dealing with the situation? So have compassion towards yourself that you're dealing with this, and compassionately make your brainstorming way out to this debt, to this financial crisis that you feel is unsurmountable, is by having compassion towards the situation as opposed to fearing the worst. Fearing the worst is not going to make the problem go away. Let's do one more of these, because this pile, I feel, is looking at a debt that they don't want to look at. So see if you qualify for a program that helps with people who are in bankruptcy. There are certain brand new programs that are coming out that are helping people that have such large debts, for whoever that resonates to. Being proud of yourself. You're not giving yourself enough credit for all the things that you have done that were successful in your past. If you're having a really hard time with self-judgment or beating yourself up, look at all the accomplishments. Do you see all those buffaloes? There's a lot of them. You see, all of those buffaloes represent an accomplishment that you succeeded at. And then you're over here beating yourself up because you're in this legal matter that is going to be resolved. And right now it's just about figuring out how to resolve it. I have a question for you. Have you already removed yourself from the problem? Have you removed yourself from the debt? My question is your debt growing? Or have you been able to leave it at the number that it is and remove yourself from further going into the hole? What can you return? Is there something that you can return that is of value? Whether that is a vehicle or a heavy piece of furniture? Is there a heavy electronic? Is there something that you can return? Is there something that is returnable that can give you a nice chunk of what you need? For those of you who own multiple properties, is there a house that you can sell? Is there a property that you can sell? Is there something that you can compromise that will help cover the debt that you're worried about? For others of you, I want to say Airbnb. So if you have multiple sources of property, if you own multiple land, acres, farms, Airbnb can make you a lot of money really fast if you just sacrifice a certain area where, let's say that you're in a situation where you can no longer pay for your mortgage because maybe you were laid off and you live in a really beautiful house and you don't want to lose that house. You can Airbnb half of it. Airbnb half of it, and you live in the other half. Hire a cleaner if you don't want to pay a cleaner. You are going to have to make sacrifices, and you are going to have to make a process of elimination, I want to say. For those of you who have a big debt, you probably have a big debt because you own multiple property. So how can you do a process of elimination where you just simplify your life and sell what is bringing you problems? Where, let's say, one of the properties that you own is giving you sewage issues. And in order to fix that sewage issue, you're going to have to spend about $60,000. How about you just sell that house to somebody who can afford to fix it? Sometimes you have to know your limits, especially if you're a real estate agent. You have to know your limits. You have to know where you are not going to fix it and you're going to sell it instead. This could even be a car issue where your car, you have a custom car and it takes a certain amount to fix it and you don't have that amount. You might as well just sell that car and get a new one that is affordable. So with this pile, it's all about adjustments, adjusting down. And for others of you, getting over your ego, where the debt is getting bigger because you can't admit something to yourself, such as You no longer being able to afford a certain apartment, you no longer being able to afford car payments, you no longer being able to afford whatever it is that you want for yourself, and not being able to admit it to yourself, get over your ego, downsize, and perhaps live in decrease for some time and laying low. Or maybe you put yourself out there, extended yourself, and you were making all kinds of money, and then you just kind of lost it because you weren't organized with what was bringing something in and what was causing a hole in your bank. Also, in terms of businesses, for those of you who own multiple businesses, if there's a business that's not making anything, after remodeling, after rehiring, hiring a different chef, sometimes you have to just close it down. And there's a lot of business owners that are experiencing loss because of their ego, because they can't admit that they had to close the shop, that they had to close the restaurant. It's going to be on the newspaper. So they will rather continue living in debt to keep their reputation for an apartment or a business or a company that they can no longer sustain, to rent out or live in. And it's important for you to have an inventory of all your businesses, all of your properties. Which one is a loss? If it is a loss because you can't afford to fix it or make the arrangements that you need to make, or it's out of your budget, out of your league, then put it back in the market. This pile, you have to downsize. Part of your life's karma is to experience a simple middle class life. And I'm sorry if that offends some of you, but there are people in here that want to live this lavish lifestyle, and you just can't get over your ego that you can't afford it. It's like showing off that you have a Lamborghini, but you don't own it. You're paying monthly car payments on it. Or saying you have a house, but you don't own it. You're paying monthly mortgage for it. Technically, you don't really own it, and in order to get rid of this debt, I feel that you have something that you can sell or return to get rid of a big chunk of that debt. And getting rid of that debt would mean downsizing, meaning moving into a smaller house, moving into a smaller apartment, or moving into a city or town or country where the cost of living makes sense to you accordingly, because everybody's different. Some people are in some industries, other people are in other industries. The people that are in that industry have to live there. The people who are in this industry have to live there. Everyone has to live in different places. Some people love the island life. Some people love the city life. Some people like the snow life. Some people like the off the grid life. If we really want to get down to the nitty gritty of this situation, what needs to be cleared here is not only your ego and this false gratification of the material world to impress modern society, that is just a big hurdle in your life. Not only that, but I'm trying to figure out how to grip it. How to grip this downsize, how to even grip it for you, this downsize that you need to make. I see that you have enough to pay your debt. And in your eyes, you feel that if you have to sell everything and go into a smaller house or Airbnb half of your house, you feel like you're just going to be left naked. And it's not like that. I think that you will get some kind of enlightenment from experience having nothing. If you were to get rid of all your jewelry, all of your furniture, all of that, look at the number. There's a number there of all the things that is worth if you were to sell it. And it's like you have this debt, but you don't want to get rid of what caused that debt. Or you have this debt and you have something that can pay for that debt, but you don't want to get rid of what would take care of that debt. Like, let's say you own a helicopter, and selling that helicopter would make your debt disappear, and you don't want to get rid of that helicopter. So for this pile, you are going to have to sacrifice, and you are going to have to downsize. Let's pull 2 more cards for you, and then I'm going to go ahead and end it here. If you have children, you can have the same gender siblings share a room, or you can convert a really large living room into 2 separate rooms and put a divider in the middle. Okay? And even now, you're like, is this going to be forever? Is this going to be forever? You know, everybody has to trade places. Everybody has to trade places and see what it feels like to be in a really big space and see what it feels like to be in a really small place. Everyone has to kind of experience both things. It doesn't mean that you're going to stay in that situation forever. It's just the current circumstances right now for what is healthiest for your highest good of you and your household. Allowing flow and synchronicity into your life with the color coral, being more lighthearted instead of serious. And then we have protecting yourself with the color azure. So honestly feel like you need to protect yourself from yourself. I feel like there are bad gambles or bad investments, or simply not eliminating certain things that you need to eliminate that is causing a bigger debt. And then also protect yourself from people trying to sue you, or people trying to use you, people wanting to marry you just because of what you own and wanting to take it. For others of you, you might be going through a divorce and you don't want to divorce them, because if you divorce them, they get half of your things, and you do not believe that that person deserves half of your things. And that is fair to stay married to them so you don't have to pay them half your things. I don't really judge situations like that, but if I'm not mistaken, I believe if you are in the USA, the president is going to make a brand new law where the woman can no longer have half of his property if there's a divorce. And I support that law. I support it all the way, because it's ridiculous how many people use other people and expect there to be no consequences. It isn't fair. Nourish your body and soul. So where in your life are you neglecting your body and your soul? Where in your life are you not nourishing yourself enough? You need to be more compassionate towards yourself. It's so funny because it's hard for me to grip it, because you're just wanting to slip through the cracks and not wanting to do something that deep down inside you know you have to do. And I think I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Hello, Pile 5. We're clearing the energy from the past readings. Just because whenever there's like too much energy, I have to clear it again. Would you like some Palo Santo? Disappear the negative thoughts. Negative thoughts disappeared and cleared. Negative thoughts are blocked, rejected, void, and canceled. We are motivated and we are inspired. Okay, let's go ahead and begin your reading. If you chose Pile 5, this is your reading. This pile is tired. And you are not tired physically. You are tired mentally. You are mentally tired of all of the BS. The BS, the matrix, the deception, the lies. You're tired of the masses. The masses of people that are intentionally ignorant, I want to say. You have a really hard time dating people that can hold a conversation with you. You have a desire to move to another country, but because of all of the political international shenanigans, you actually want to leave the planet. This pile wants to leave the planet. You would love to live in a different country, but the laws really piss you off. The immigration laws are a complete sense of lack of freedom, lack of simple human rights to migrate and live somewhere else. Needing to protect yourself from energy vampires, needing to protect yourself from energetic astral parasites, needing to protect yourself from people that think that they have a say in your life. There's people that think that they can tell you what to do and where to go and who to date. And you're really sick and tired of these people because these people come into your dream space like parasitic worms, wanting to know everything about you. You can't even have a peaceful time with your 5D wife or husband because there's these leeches that are always staring and always wanting to get in between you and your person. This pile may have traveled many times before, and they still have not found their home after so many years. And even if you have bought homes or rented homes, I don't know if I want to take these. I wasn't really concentrating. You never felt like your home was your home. This is the pile of people that wish they could live off grid and have nobody tell them what to do. You want to make and build your house out of scratch. You're tired of buying houses that are already built. You want to buy a piece of land and build your own house. This pile here, pile 5, you are attacked with anger. Anger will try to come through and basically destroy all of your positive opportunities. And we're basically clearing that tower. It's an angry tower. It's a tower of anger. And that is its agenda. And we are dispelling it and dispersing it from this pile. So you had an invisible tower that cause anger outbursts that come out of nowhere, especially when you're in a particular room in a house, such as the kitchen or the garage or the hallway or the stairs. There's like a certain corner in the house where you just go bipolar and it's unexplainable. That is because of the invisible attacking tower that has the agenda to make you angry, so that all of your pieces come tumbling down like marbles and you have to go get on your all fours, crawl and look for all the pieces again. And the opposing force is amused by watching you have to go and pick up all the marbles. So we have cleared the tower of anger, and every time you clear things, you leave these holes, and those holes do not like to be empty. So I like to fill them up with affirmations so that there's nothing negative that tries to replace those holes or those clearances. A lot of times people get purging confused with that, where they think it's part of purging. No, usually a lot of times purging actually comes because whoever did the clearing left a hole, and then something negative came in and replaced that hole. That's why you have to fill the hole with something. I fill them up with affirmations. So here, your affirmation is interesting because your affirmation is, when I am angry, I am actually being attacked. And usually I don't make affirmations like that, but that is the affirmation that wants to cling to your highest good. So as soon as you get angry, you will read a sentence that will blink and it will say, when I am angry, I am being attacked. That will automatically spark a light bulb in you that by you maintaining your anger, the enemy continues to defeat you. We have the grandfather's breath. When this card comes up, it means that heaven wants you to be more specific and detailed with your prayer request and intentions. It's difficult for your prayers to be answered or miracles to be created when there's no intentions, no prayer requests, just crickets. When it comes to the dialogue between you and Source, it's interesting how when we get angry, we curse and we say all kinds of profanity, right? and you satisfy lower energies. But what about when it comes to making an intention, a positive intention? Why is it crickets when it comes to a prayer request, a recovery request, a detox, a fasting, a sacrifice, a compromise request? It shouldn't be crickets. There should be a dropping of the ego, you know. That's why nobody likes to talk about praying. Nobody likes to talk about bowing down to source. No one likes talking about daily forgiveness, chants of forgiveness. No one likes to talk about praying. Why? Because the ego defeated you. That's why. Ego doesn't want you to pray, because if you pray, you will heighten, strengthen your vibration. And your ego is a lower vibration. Your ego doesn't want you to raise the vibration, because if you raise the vibration, ego dies. So that's why no one likes to talk about praying, because when you pray, ego dies. You're admitting that there is a power more powerful than you called source. And you're bowing down to that and saying, thank you. Thank you for everything that you have done, are doing, and will do for me in my life. And people can't even be grateful and thank that, you know. What do people do? They're grateful once a year for Thanksgiving. And then what do they do the next day? They're pushing and shoving and stepping on other people's toes for Black Friday. Changes in the air, changes in the air. That's the change card. There's something in your life that you need to modify, adjust, leaping forward and dare to make that change. There will be sacrifices and roadblocks, yes, but you are protected. It is an imminent move. What is stale and depressed will be revitalized with this new energy, this new modification that you're going to make. So it seems that the issue here is your throat soul house. Your throat soul house is so out of balance that it's even imbalanced and closed off to you, where you come to the point where you tell yourself lies and you believe those lies. Such as, if I apply for that job, I'll be rejected. If I message that girl, I'll be rejected. If I apply for that work permit, I'll be rejected. You know, like those kinds of lies. And it's like you tell yourself these lies, and then let's say you do get a rejection from a certain job that you really wanted, you'll say, see, aha, I told you so. And you're just beating yourself up. And it's unnecessary. If you did not get accepted from any of those jobs or emails or dates, it's because you did not resonate with it. You didn't resonate with that job. You didn't resonate with that company. You didn't resonate with that industry. You didn't resonate with that gal or guy. Why is it that you date the worst people at the worst time in your life? Because it resonated with itself. If you look back and you look at the worst relationship that you were in, weren't you in a pretty messed up, wasn't that a pretty messed up time? That was a pretty messed up time. It just matched. Or let's say it wasn't a messed up time, but it was a time where you were easily fooled. Like, let's say everything represents something. And let's say if someone played you for a fool and broke your heart, for example, in the past, you were resonating to that. You resonated yourself to be a victim in a certain situation where you should have been more guarded or you should have been more intuitive, where whenever we get taken advantage of by anyone that we date, we put ourselves there. We put a target around us and said, pick me. When you go back and you look at how you handled the situation, you will see how you could have prevented it, protected yourself, or in a way you knew better and you did it anyway. What in your life do you have to snip? And why do I feel like what you have to snip is a mindset or a perspective that is outdated? It could even be as simple as saying, I'm never going to amount to nothing. I'm never going to get married. I'm never going to have a family. It could be as simple as that. And snipping that from your being. If you visualize it, it will usually look like a vine. It will usually look like a vine where you will cut it, but there's still something attached to it, and you have to go back and snip it, and then you have to go down towards the floor and see where it's growing out of and uproot it so that it does not keep growing. And where you are in live time, I feel, is better than who you were before, but there is still something that you have to snip off. Some of you might be in a long distance relationship and you might be stubborn about your relationship and sabotaging the relationship with your stubborn behavior. You got two little birds over here. Usually this card likes to pop out whenever somebody is in a long distance dynamic. In order for this pile to be happy, ultimately, you're going to have to travel. You're going to have to compromise. You know, unfortunately, we live in a world where you cannot live wherever you want so easily. And you're just going to have to be accepting with that and choose where you would be happy enough or happy sufficient enough to settle for now and travel once a year to a different location. Every single year, go to a different place that you've never been to once a year and treat yourself to that as you adapt to your reality that you may not want right now, you know, because realistically, logically speaking, we live in a life where we have to settle for certain things that may not be our preference in regards to location, you know, because that's a big one. There are so many people that are in Europe that want to live in America. There's so many people in America that want to go to the UK, and so many people in the UK that want to go to America. And it's like, why not let them? Why not let them? Why not let people live wherever they want if they have certain qualifications or requirements that are sufficient? But right now, there truly is no freedom besides the freedom that you create in your mind. The only freedom, the true freedom right now, is the freedom in your mind and in your thoughts and where you travel, because we're multidimensional beings, and we're able to teleport, and we're able to travel. And unfortunately, that's our only sense of freedom at this time, until things change, until things improve to the point where people feel like they have basic human rights, which we don't. It's covered. There's this illusion that there are human rights and human freedom, but there isn't. The reality is that we are in a prison, being farmed and harvested. Okay, sorry, I don't want to end so morbid. We have recognizing your spiritual authority to push away all the things that you do not want for yourself or your life or your future. We have expressing the ocean of your emotion. I definitely felt this energy, but I didn't want to mention it unless I saw another card mention it. And I feel like you have to tell your person that you're having a long distance dynamic with how you really feel. And that is going to eliminate so much pain that you have. And it's almost like if you just eliminate that pain by making that adjustment, making that confession, snipping away any ridiculous insecurities, this person sees you as the one that they've been looking for their entire life. Whoever this pile is dealing with, if you feel insecure about approaching someone that has shown you clues that they're interested in you, the person who is showing you those clues does not do that for nothing or no one. And you don't know that. You don't know that they don't do that for no one. Like, I don't think you understand how hard it is to make that cut for them. The person that you are worried about confessing how you feel towards, I feel you're dealing with a demisexual. You're dealing with someone who is in between demisexual and asexual. They're not attracted to people. Okay, they're not attracted to anyone. And then there's another group of you that your person is attracted to intelligence. But whoever it is that you're dealing with, they're very, you have to be like 1 in a billion, 1 in a million, 1 in a billion, you know what I mean, for them to even consider the idea of being intimate with you or being more than friends with you. And that is who I feel that you are dealing with. And it's like you don't know that. You don't realize that the fact that someone is interested in you in a manner that is more than platonic or more than friendship, it is so hard for them to like anybody. Like, they're exhausted. They gave up trying, and then you came along, and as soon as they saw you, they felt soul resonance with you. They felt that they wanted to marry you immediately. And you're over here wasting all this time being all mopey, and time is going by. Beautiful, gorgeous spring, sparkling leaves, sparkling mountains, glistening water. The only thing that you need to snip is your own negative perceptions that you have of yourself and of life beyond the matrix, because we all know that matrix is, a bunch of baloney. But once you snip the matrix and you create your own reality, the matrix can't really hurt you anymore. And really, the matrix is just there for the people who want it to be there. But if you don't want the matrix to be there, just snip it away and create your own life. And you and your person have quite the imagination, and you can create that imagination and fantasy into a reality together. And there's no need to feel embarrassed by your situation. In fact, for some of you, you should live with your person at some point and join forces for whoever's ready for that, in the future. Who knows? What color does this pile need to incorporate more in their life? And we have the beautiful brown. And we have establishing boundaries. Okay, so where in your life, pile 5, do you need to establish stronger boundaries? For some reason, I still can't help to feel like the boundaries are with yourself for a group of you. For some of you, it's establishing a boundaries with customers or clients where you're being taken advantage of, maybe, or you being more discerning with which customers you choose to work and not work with, where maybe you were desperate for money, so you accepted a client that you wouldn't normally accept. And establishing that boundary with yourself where you're not going to settle for less just because of your circumstances. And also establishing boundaries with your limits. Okay, I feel like these boundaries have a lot to do with your own limits of yourself, where let's say there's something that you haven't told somebody. You're the one suffering by not telling them. Where is the limit where you love yourself enough to release some information for your own sanity, for your own sake? It's okay to be self-gratifying or selfish. I don't know. Selfish is not really the right word. We don't have to be selfless all the time. We can be self-gratifying and self-nourishing. And it's almost like you think that it's selfish to expose or confess something just because it would benefit your own peace. And that's not the case. It's okay to need closure or to require closure from a certain situation. So if there's something that you need an answer to, like let's say there's this question that you feel like this question is killing you to not know, ask the question. Love yourself enough to ask that question, and you will feel so much better after you asked. Even if you don't get an answer, I'm not saying that you're not going to get an answer, but we know that in the real world, sometimes you don't get an answer from certain people. Even if you don't get an answer, you will feel better just for asking the question. You will get rid of this heavy burden that you have put upon yourself for so long by not asking a certain question. And you will just put an end to it by not holding on to it anymore. So then the person that we're dealing with, for the most part, is going to answer you. And it's almost like you intuitively already know the answer. For those of you who do not get an answer, where let's say 2 weeks, 3 weeks, let's give them 3. If you don't get an answer in 3 weeks, take that silence as an answer. And we all know that the silence is usually an answer of no, right? But for the most part, I really feel that if there's something that you feel is holding you back from progressing or focusing, then do it. Do what you need to do that will help you have better focus to resolving your issue. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time. Bye.